Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Random Thoughts. I'm your humble DM, Tim, and today I'm going to talk about another species from the Astral Adventurer's Guide. I know, shocking. But one that I think a lot of people overlook, even more so than probably the GIF, and that is the plasmoids. Now, the plasmoid is pretty unique in that they are the only OOOZE species in D&D that has an official release, at least as far as I know. But one of the interesting things about the plasmoids is they have the potential to give you probably one of the most interesting potential character types. And I'll go into that in a little bit. And you got to be a little specific with this kind of setup. But anyway, we're going to go into what you get if you decide to run as a plasmoid. So you will find the plasmoid on page 14 of the page 14 of the Astral Adventurer's Guide. They are the creature type OOOZE. They have a medium or small size, so you can be big or small, which is always good. Walking speed of 30 feet, pretty standard. Amorphous. You can squeeze through a space as narrow as 1 inch wide, provided you are wearing and carrying nothing. You have advantage on ability checks to make or initiate or escape a grapple. Sorry, I was trying to get the reading on that right. Now, this is the first part of what makes a plasmoid awesome, is the mobility that you have. Most of the time, you're going to find, if you're playing as a plasmoid, and if you've done it right, there is almost no trap or room that is going to be able to hold you. If you can find a gap as big as an inch anywhere, a keyhole, for example, you can get into a room provided you're not wearing anything. And that, on the face of it, is incredibly powerful. And also opens up a whole bunch of abilities that you could have. I mean, even on the face of it, you could potentially sneak into a building in a jug because you're amorphous. As long as you've got space that you can fit into, imagine the party carrying you in as a jug, pretending that you're a delivery of food or something like that, sneaking you into the kitchen and then leaving, and then you ooze out of your jug and then commence your solo infiltration or assassination mission. But let's move on with the other options we have here. Dark vision, which, again, always very good. 60-foot dark vision. Hold breath. You can hold your breath for 1 hour. Again, very useful. Natural resilience. You have resilient to acid and poison damage. Resistance, I should say. Sorry, not resilience. To acid and poison damage, and advantage on saving throws against being poisoned. And shape self. As an action, you can reshape your body to give yourself a head, 1 or 2 arms, 1 or 2 legs, and a makeshift hands and feet. Or you can revert to a limbless blob. So you can be humanoid in shape, or you can be literally just a ball of goo. As a bonus action, while you have the humanoid shape, you can wear clothes and armor made for humanoids of your size. Now, as a bonus action, you can extrude a pseudopod up to 6 inches wide and 10 feet long, and reabsorb it into your body. So you can actually break off a small snake version of yourself. As part of the same bonus action, you can use the pseudopod to manipulate an object, open or close a door or container, or pick up or set down a tiny object. The pseudopod contains no sensory organs, can't attack, activate magic items, or lift more than 10 pounds. So essentially what you can do is you can break off a piece of yourself and extrude it through a window or something like that, and use that to open a door. Again, incredibly useful. It basically gives you mage hand, but in a physical form. It's actually a physical part of yourself. So what you basically get if you're going to be playing as a plasmoid is you almost a T-1000 or Odo from Deep Space Nine, in that you can ooze yourself around the place and able to infiltrate places that no one else could get into. You can sneak into a building through the plumbing, for crying out loud, if the building actually has any plumbing. Now, one of the key features of this, of course, is that you can't be wearing anything when you do so. And people are going to say, well, how am I going to be able to do anything if I'm not wearing anything? And this is where your choice of class is always going to come into it. So what you're going to want to do if you're going to be one of these is you're probably going to want to be either a fighter, a rogue will work, but not quite so much, either a monk or a barbarian, primarily so you get the unarmored defense. Actually, thinking about it, a rogue would work just as well. Just additional steps are required in building a plasmoid as a rogue. But once you've got yourself set up, you want to make sure that all of your magic items are things that are literally part of your body, because you cannot be carrying anything while you're doing this sort of stuff. And fortunately, there are such magical items in, where are we? Tasha's cauldron, freaking lights. Tasha's cauldron of everything. There we go. In the form of tattoos. Now, there are several different tattoos, but the ones that you're going to want to look for are uncommon ones. There is the Eldritch Claw tattoo, which is found on page 126. There is the Barrier tattoo. The Barrier tattoo is what you're going to want if you're going to run this character as a fighter or a rogue, just to give you additional AC. That can be found on page 122. And if you aren't able to get the Eldritch Claw, or you just want to go even further, you want to go with the Coiling Grasp tattoo. And then at any point you are able to get the unarmed fighting feat. Now, if you're a monk, don't need to do it because you have that pretty much built into all of the different classes. But if you're doing it as a barbarian, a fighter, or a rogue, you're going to want to pick unarmored fighting in order to basically do your damage. Now, these tattoos, because they are literally tattooed onto your body. Now, I don't really know how a tattoo works on an amorphous blob, but, you know, sort of injected. This magic is sort of a potion that courses through your amorphous form. They go with you wherever you go, so you're always equipped with these things, thus allowing you to maintain your superiority through your amorphous form. And what these different tattoos do, the Coiling Grasp, when you attune to it, you do what you do. And then while the tattoo is on your skin, you can, as an action, cause the tattoo to extrude into inky tendrils that reach for a creature you can see within 15 feet of you. The creature must succeed on a strength saving throw or take 3d6 force damage and be grappled by you. As an action, the creature can escape, yada da 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 da. So this basically allows you to extrude out and grapple someone and not allow them to escape. But the real good one that you want is the Eldritch Claw. Now, the thing that sort of gave me the image of this, there was an old game back in the 90s, I believe. Geez, showing my age now. Called Clay Fighter, and there was a character in that was literally just a blob of clay. It was this, I think it was just called Blob. I'm not even 100% sure now off the top of my head. And this was your standard tournament fighter, like your Mortal Kombats and your Street Fighter. But the cool thing about this was that everything was done in claymation, very similar to the original Donkey Kong Country games. And the way that this blob character fought was to change himself into the different things. So when he kicked, he turned into a boot. When he punched, he turned into a fist. And when he blocked, he turned into a wall. Very, very cool. But the Eldritch Claw tattoo gives you very much that sort of similar fighting style. So, magical strikes. While the tattoo is on your skin, your unarmed strikes are considered magical for the purposes of overcoming immunity and resistances to non-magical attacks Awesome. And you gain +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls with your unarmed strikes. Okay, already good. Eldritch Maul. As a bonus action, you can empower your tattoo for 1 minute. For the duration, each of your melee attacks with a weapon or an unarmed strike can reach a target up to 15 feet away from you, as inky tendrils launch towards the target. In addition, your melee attacks deal an additional d6 force damage on a hit. Once you use the bonus action, can't be used again until next dawn. So what this lets you do is literally, rather than even just using it as the tattoo, flavoring it as you power yourself up and then you're flinging your ooze everywhere. Fist at 15 feet, fist at 15 foot, kick at 15 foot, allowing you to melee all over the place. And then if you need to escape, you can just duck in through a keyhole, through a locked room, slide under a door, duck through a crack in the window. You become the ultimate boogeyman, assassin, monk, rogue, barbarian, whatever it is you want to do as this blob creature. Really scary. And a nightmare for dungeon masters, interestingly enough, because I proposed this idea as a character to run in a Tomb of Annihilation, and the DM said no. Now, the Tomb of Annihilation is no freaking joke, the amount of stuff that can actually kill you in that, but because of the nature of this blob character, he would basically be immune to almost every trap within the tomb, because if it's a cage, he just goes through the gaps. If there's gaps in the walls, he slides under the walls. So he said no. So unfortunately, this is a character I have not yet played, but I really do hope I am able to someday. I just cannot wait to be able to T1000 my way through an entire dungeon at some stage, or infiltrate a castle through the plumbing and punch the ever-loving crap out of all the inhabitants. Or sneak into a place in someone's stomach. That could be, that'd be interesting actually, because you are resistant to acid. Get a party member of. Could you imagine? Good God, that'd be something interesting. You could get one of your party members to swallow you if you're small enough, and then they have to infiltrate you into a place. Like if they're in prison or being arrested, then they can just vomit you up and use you to escape. Oh no. Okay. Wow. I think I've gone. Good God. All right. I think that's where we'll leave today's session. Wow, talk about random thoughts. Okay, so, yes, plasmoids, awesome. You get to ooze around and you can punch things, provided you build it in the right way. So if you want to do that, you're looking for the Astral Adventurer's Guide and Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Barrier Tattoo, Eldritch Claw Tattoo, and Coiling Grass Tattoo. Oh, I didn't even mention Barrier Tattoo. Just gives you AC, additional AC without wearing armor, just to boost up your AC, depending on the type you've got. Anyway, all right. Until next time, everybody. I have been your humble DM, Tim, and remember to keep on blending. Bye.